Hello everyone, today I'll be talking about the Times Square 42nd Street station, in which in the past I made a video about this, but this time it will be longer and in two parts. Today I'm going to be talking about the IRT lines, which are the 1, 2, 3, and 7 trains, and I will not be including the 42nd Street shuttle, in which it will be in a different video. First, I am going to talk about the IRT Broadway 7th Avenue line, which is served by the 1, 2, and 3 trains at all times. After the first 28 stations opened on 1904 and then the first subway line was completed in 1908, the dual contracts were formalized in March 1913, specifying new lines or expansions to be built by the IRT and the Brooklyn Rapid Transit Company, which is the BRT. As part of the dual contracts, the Public Service Commission planned to split the original IRT system into three segments. Two north-south lines carrying through trains over the Lexington Avenue and Broadway 7th Avenue lines, and a west-east shuttle under 42nd Street. This will form a roughly H-shaped system in which the original alignment under 42nd Street will become a shuttle service and a new set of platforms will be built for the Broadway 7th Avenue line. In December 1913, the PSC began soliciting bids for the construction of the 7th Avenue Line tunnel between 42nd Street and 30th Streets, including two express stations at 34th Street and 42nd Street. The PSC awarded a $2.2 million contract to an IRT subsidiary, and the Board of Estimate approved the contract the next month. The Broadway 7th Avenue line station opened on June 3, 1917 as part of an extension of the IRT to South Ferry. A shuttle service ran between Times Square and Penn Station until the rest of the extension opened a year later on July 1, 1918. Afterward, the shuttle ran from Times Square to South Ferry. On August 1st, the dual contracts H system was put into service, and the former main line platforms became part of the 42nd Street shuttle. The Broadway 7th Avenue line station was the site of a 1928 wreck that killed 16 people, the second worst in New York City history, the worst being the Marlborough Street wreck in Brooklyn, which killed at least 93 people. Now I'm going to talk about the Flushing line, which is the 7 train. The dual contracts also included completing and opening the Steinway Tunnel as part of the new Flushing Avenue line. The tunnel, running under the East River with trolley loops on both the Manhattan and Queens side, has sat unused since 1907, when test runs had been performed in the then nearly complete tunnel. The route traveling under 41st Street and 42nd Streets in Manhattan was to go from Times Square through the tunnel over to Long Island City and from there continue toward Flushing. The section of the tunnel between Grand Central 42nd Street and Queens had opened on June 22, 1915. In July 1920, the PSC announced that it would extend the Flushing line 2 stops west to Times Square with an intermediate station under Bryant Park. On November 9, 1921, the New York State Transit Commission opened up the contract for the extension for bidding. On November 22, 1921, the Powers Kennedy Contracting Corporation was awarded a contract to construct the extension on a low bid of $3,867,138, below the estimated cost of over $4 million. The contractors had completed the tunnels to 5th Avenue by May 1923, and the 5th Avenue station opened on March 22, 1926, as the temporary western terminus of the line. In fall 1926, it was announced that it will be completed by January 1st, 1927. In June 1926, the Alsher Company was awarded a contract to complete the Flushing Line's Times Square station. On February 8, 1927, the New York City Board of Transportation informed the New York State Transit Commission that work on the Times Square station was sufficiently completed to enable the start of train service beginning on February 19, 1927. But after many delays, the Flushing line was extended to Times Square on March 14, 1927. A pedestrian passageway under 41st Street connecting the IND's 42nd Street station with the IRT and BMT stations at Times Square opened on December 24, 1932. The passageway included an entrance on 41st Street between 7th and 8th Avenues, and passengers had to pay additional fare to transfer to and from the IND. This station is ADA accessible except the passageway between IND platforms and the rest of the complex is not. The MTA ridership count of 2019 was 65,020,294. I hope you all liked part 1 of the Times Square 42nd Street station in which I talk about the IRT. And I hope you also subscribe and share this video to other people. And I will see you guys in the next time. Bye.